Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Hit like, hit subscribe. I get all the data. You're watching, not everyone's subscribed. Hit that button, don't be shy. I've made a new rack. It's free, it'll be in the link below. I had this idea before the Kickfucker. If you got that one or seen that one, that's had about over 1,000 downloads. This one's called Phone Distortion. I always love when I'm flicking through social media and you see DJs and artists, even bands playing at gigs, and they're in the club or they're at the venue recording and it sounds really distorted. Sometimes it sounds better than the original track, in my opinion. That's my vibe. So I wanted to try and capture settings like that, like phone distortion if you're in the booth, if you're in the toilet having a piss at a club, if you're waiting in line somewhere, different variations of that. So it's stock Ableton. I made it in Live 11. It won't work in 12 or 10. It's pretty much a whole bunch of saturation and drum bass with automation. It's nothing. I haven't reinvented the wheel. Some people might find it useless. Some people might love it. Anyway, we'll go into it. Standard, drum loop, dry, hip hop. Let's have a listen. So when we turn it on, this time round, different to the Kickfucker rack I did, I've got presets in here. So we've got waiting in line, mum I'm in the toilet, pre-iPhone, bad connection, fully web. If we go through it, have a look. Basically we've got two saturators, an overdrive, a pedal, EQ, a drum bass, and a limiter. And all these macros are controlling different drives, different depths, and different wet controls within these Ableton parameters. So like this OK one at the start is automating the bass of the A Bit Warmer saturator. Then that's nice is doing the A Bit Warmer drive, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I won't get into that. You can open that up and you can change the parameters and the mapping to better suit yourself or whatever. But I gave some presets just so it's, you can start flicking through it. So if we get out of that, here we are. So waiting in line, different to the Kickfucker as well. I've got a dry wet knob for the whole mix of the effect, which is going to be helpful. So obviously a lot more subtle in the preset when you first select it, but as you change it, it can go bananas, right? But yeah, you can. So, mum, I'm in the toilet. More aggressive. Free iPhone. Bad connection. Anyway, I'll go through them and I'll explain when I would use them, because a lot of people are going to whinge in the comments saying it sounds like shit and all that, which is subjective. Anyway, so this one, same thing, waiting in line. It is basically just a whole bunch of different saturators, then the dry wet and the drive, and then the depths, the waveforms, and overdrive pedal, and then there's pushing. But I've got EQ8, I've got the smiley face EQ, which I sort of took from the SPLI to really open. Opened up. Or we can dull it down. That's the 911 knob. But again, get it to a good pocket. I've got the dry wet on this one now. So we can just put that, 14% and just have it a bit more subtle. And then turn that off. preset. That's the beauty. Or you can just go back. Yeah, nice 9%er. But then presets off the back. Don't forget, we've got the random button of Ableton, which I always talk about. You can let that do the work for you. If you like one of those, and then you can just save that setting or tweak that setting to a new preset and whatever you want. Now, I have experimented on with a whole mix as well. Not for mastering or anything like that. I've thrown it on a pre-mastered track that's been mixed down just to sort of see where it takes it, with all the elements going at once. And I liked it because when it gets really aggressive, it can get far away from the original sound source, and it might turn into a sound that I would sample or then take or chop up out of the actual track itself, but you wouldn't know it. You can't hear it, the original sound source. So, this is my boy Landfill. Check him out. I'll put his stuff below. But one way I used it was I was halfway through a track and I printed a section of the track as it was, threw that printed part of it into a breakdown, then threw this on there, filtered it, and tweaked it to something similar like this, so it sounded like you're in the toilet during the breakdown. Something similar like that. So suss it on full mixes too. That's a bit of fun. Oh yeah, and then guitars. Obviously, I'm just cycling through to show you what it's capable of. You'll see here I've got EQ either side, plus utility and span, because obviously the EQ after, like you'd corrective EQ first, because we're going to add a lot of harmonics with saturation, but then post, same with your stereo. Same with utility. So I'm not going to go into the mixing side of things, but you're not stupid. It's getting loud. We're saturating a lot. We're distorting a lot. Be conscious of that, please. But yeah, the guitars sound nasty. You know, maybe just a nice 10%er, you know? I would use this. I've used it in one mix where I paralleled it, put it underneath, and really brought it up underneath, because you can really open it up. Now I'll do a kick lastly, and then I'll explain when else I'm using it. Oh, let's go back here. Pretty shit kick, but I want to use just something boring to see how we can excite it. And it's good because you don't always need to destroy it, right? We can use it to just give us 5% here, 10% there, and then go about your normal processing however you do. So it can be used in a subtle way to help give you a bit more texture. You know, it's all Ableton stock, so if you've got live 11, it should work, no dramas. Obviously on a weaker kick, it's just gonna, I'd probably start with the first one and just dial in nicely. But it depends what your intentions are going to be, right? You might actually want to destroy something, filter it, layer it underneath, contribute that to your kick layering group, or you might contribute to your rumble or your bass or your low end. So it really depends. But creative ways to use it, I've been mapping LFOs with it too. So like if we just say, let's map this. Slow that down. And you can use it maybe to accent stuff or highlight stuff to the bass line, even a synth line, and you can then obviously use multiple LFOs to map different things, or you just might map something else. Yeah, you might have to make a conjunction with dry wet. Wasn't that moving that fast? That's too low. Slow that down. So creatively, I would experiment with LFOs as well. You can cycle through the presets, tweak them and resave them, or you can hit the random button and get new ones and call them whatever you like from there. Be conscious of the EQing and your stereo field. But also, how else I've been using it, I really like it on a full mix just to see what I can get out in some mixing projects, like coming up underneath in parallel processing, but also something that's really nasty, more so for drum loops and stuff. I'd be resampling this and playing with, you know, different presets and distortions and that, because all that exaggerated white noise sound, I'd basically be pulling them out and using the Ableton fades to shave them and use them for percussion and all sorts of different things, really. It's the same with this one here. Like, let's keep that there, and I'll do this before I wrap it up. If we say freeze this, now obviously it's going to be slamming, but let's turn this off. Like this. You know, I'd then be playing with stuff like that and doing stuff like that, where now I'd start to very rough moves that I'm making, but just to demonstrate. Because then now if we go to the kick, and let's move this up here, let's just go. Let's just keep it subtle like that, but you know, I'd Command J that, and I'll be looking for things like that, and then soloing this again. Like even that there, if I move that over with the kick, what's that giving me? You know, could that be used as an offbeat bass? Especially if I, like fuck. Oof. Like I'd even, come on, you bastard. I'd bring that down. You know, things like that. This is how I'd be using it too. And I do use it like this. You know, that's just one little, and that's a horse shit kick, right? If we had a better kick in there, it would be on. So for everyone there is going to whinge on that in the comments that it's too loud and aggressive, obviously not familiar with my production, my label, stuff like that, but that's how I'd be using it. I'd be bringing those ugly artifacts out that aren't normally there before the phone distortion effects are used, and then, fading them, chopping them, and using them like that to get to something of my taste. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's free. It's below. Share it. Get it around. The Kickfucker clocked over 1,000 not long ago. 1,000 downloads. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe. We'll see you next week. Arrivederci. Ciao.